evidence from the county court on the Monday, provided an update on day 2, and then played my interview with Blair himself on the Wednesday afternoon. On the Thursday around lunchtime, I was able to interview Blair's lawyer, Patriot lawyer as he's become known, John Bolton, and followed that by my own concluding remarks, which I'll play for you now. So this was recorded late yesterday. John is based in Adelaide, so he's already he flew immediately after the trial was adjourned.
This is Wilms, brought to you by the Unshackled.net.
So we're here on Thursday, the 4th day of Blair Cottrell's appeal trial here at the County Court of Victoria. I'm here with his lawyer, John Bolton. You're from Adelaide, so you've been here obviously every day this week since Monday, 4 days. It'll wrap up this afternoon. It's just been you as the sole legal counsel. There's 2 from the Director of Public Prosecution's office and then 3 from the Attorney General's department.
That's right. The power of one.
And so what's it been like being that power of one? Obviously, there is a substantial legal team with a lot of resources with them. So how have you approached this trial?
Preparation. And of course, both the DPP and the Attorney General are required to be model litigants. What that means is they're required to follow the processes and rules and the courtesies of court properly. And I'd like to take this opportunity to say, in my view, they actually have done that. They've provided me in advance with the materials and the arguments and the previous court decisions that they want to refer to almost without fail, and where they haven't, it has just simply been a slip. So taking all that on board, I was able to spend some long days getting prepared, which is why I've been a bit short in speaking so much, because I've actually provided to the court in writing my final response, which I held off. I could have sent it last Friday, but I held off until I had further details of how things were going and sent it through to the court. I think it was Sunday night, or it might have even been Monday night. So the court has all of my responses to what the other parties are saying, and I'm just going to tidy up slightly with about 10 minutes comment, because in my view, the position they've taken on a particular case is not the position that is preferable to Mr. Cottrell, and it's not the position I want the judge to take. And that's well, I can go into that particular case if you'd like.
I've been here, as I said, all 4 days as well, and it's been a good, I'd say, crash course in how our legal system operates. And yes, it's not just what you say and the opposing counsel say. As you said, there's written submissions as well, and then there's all this case law that we're referring to. The large briefcases or suitcases that the lawyers carry around, they're full of case laws that they're planning to give to the judge, and then he's got to read them all. So it's a lot of reading. You spend a lot of hours.
I feel like I've been carrying half the Supreme Court Library around with me for the last 3 or 4 days, because obviously I don't have 4 other people to carry my stuff. I mean, when I was in full-time practice, I had 9, 10 people working for me, so I did have that sort of assistance. So it's been right back to basics for me, doing all my own typing, preparing all my own material. And because of the speed with which it's been necessary, maybe it hasn't been quite as typographically perfect as I would like, but I think His Honour has given us a very good fair hearing.
Yes, it certainly has, I think, flowed well. At times I know that the gallery obviously gets bogged down in a lot of constitutional case law. Obviously that's not your background, constitutional law, but that didn't deter you, or you weren't daunted from, because originally you were going to go to the High Court, but then you referred back to the County Court.
Well, there's a possibility we may still go to the High Court, as the Attorney General's barrister mentioned just before lunch. In fact, he was loath to make certain admissions about whether or not what Mr. Cottrell was doing was political. He inferred that the judge might well find that conclusion, but he didn't want to make the admission lest it go on to further appeal.
And obviously, you mentioned there that there could still be this legal journey. You're obviously retired from standard legal practice. You're now known as the Patriot lawyer. You're still prepared to keep going, mentally keep going for however long this process could go on for?
Well, I had a good discussion with Mr. Cottrell last night after court about all these issues, and so we have discussed how things may proceed from today, but that's a matter of privacy for him, so I won't go into that. But I retired very early. I retired at age 57 due to the ill health of my wife, who subsequently died, and so actually my birthday was on Sunday, 66, and Blair's was on Monday, the day the court started.
Mine's in 5 days.
So, and I feel very fit, although this week, some days I was really tired. On Monday afternoon I felt really, really tired, and I went back to where I was staying, and I had something to eat and drink, and I went to bed about 6:45, and then woke up really bright and chirpy on Tuesday morning, started getting preparation going about 6, and I was feeling really good and on target come Tuesday morning. And then Tuesday afternoon, when you hear the opposition case, you get a little bit despondent, and then I think it was yesterday where I was able to present a summing up of Blair's case, in particular the factual issues, and felt quite good about that again. So, I mean, His Honour will make whatever decision he makes, and then we have to see where we go from there.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad I'm not you this week. But
well, there's no doubt that when one is standing making addresses and you just know that there's something you want to say, if you have a solicitor at the other side of the bar table to hand you the piece of paper, or in the Attorney General's case, 2 other people to give you hints and tips, it's got to be easier for anybody.
maybe we need a Patriot solicitor as well.
Well, you might like to ask Blair about that, because as you rightly say, constitutional law has never been my specialty, but human rights has always been, and I've only been to the High Court ever once before, and I have been trying to find a person who would take on Blair's case, either as senior lawyer to me or senior barrister to me as a constitutional specialist, or in which case I would be second fiddle quite happily, or someone who would be a junior solicitor to me who could assist me in case preparation. But Blair has very limited financial resources, and no one was prepared to take it on under the same conditions as I do. But I stand for freedom of speech, and we just have to stand up. And I think as a society we owe people like Mr. Cottrell the right to be properly heard, and that's why I've been here for the last 4 days.
And what I've learned in the past 4 days is that free speech in Australia is not on trial because we don't have free speech, personal right to free speech. The only way that that can be done is by repealing the legislation which restricts free speech. That's got to be the only way.
Many of the academic writers, particularly Augustus Zimmerman from the Western Australian University, says that acts like Section 18C and this Religious Tolerance Act need to go. I agree with him.
Well, the afternoon session is about to commence. Thank you so much for your time. We shall await the final judgment.
Thank you very much.
This is Wilms.